just start with a little bit each month, that will accumulate. And obviously, the younger they start, the more compounded income, interest income, and that they're going to receive to help them accumulate the more, financial assets that they need to have at the point of retirement. However, sometimes I run into folks that are 40, 45, and have not started and did not know what to do. And that's okay because you can always start. It's never too late to start.
Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we have a special guest with us. And I tell you what, she is special to us because why? She's my sister.
And one of my favorite sisters-in-law, Corina Kempe, who does financial advising. And she is phenomenal at helping people develop budgets, get their budget on track, and reach their financial goals. So we're like, come on the show.
So we're excited to have her to talk about what does it mean, financial responsibility, financial 101. And so we've asked her to take time out of her busy schedule to come in and give us something of what could help all of us become better stewards with what finances we have.
So Corina, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Hello. Thank you guys so much. I'm so excited to be here and thank you so much for inviting me. What I do on a day-to-day basis, I meet with different clients. It doesn't matter if they have $50 or they're multimillionaires. Oh, I just have a passion of wanting to just help people plan for their future, their retirement, help them figure out exactly what their values are, what they value most, and what they are really trying to focus on what they're trying to accomplish. So I would say, bring people to a financial reality. And I do that on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, it's my passion. I enjoy doing it. I work with people that are 25 years old and I work with people that are 95 years old. I feel that God has just really blessed me and brought me to this point, and I'm just very grateful for what I have the opportunity to do.
That's wonderful. So Corina, you mentioned something about financial reality.
I love that.
But if I got a credit card, doesn't that mean I have money?
Well, and that's the funny thing is financial reality, meeting with different people every single day, everybody's financial reality is different. And credit card debt is not something that you would hope to accomplish, and it's not truly a goal. Although you do need to have some credit history to help get you established to maybe purchase that car or purchase that home. But the credit card use and right now, the amount of credit card debt in today's world is enormous. And so we really try to encourage our clients not to accumulate credit card debt and creating that budget to get them actually out of that credit card debt.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're excited to have you. And so we're going to take a really short break, but when we come back, we're going to hear more from Corina, and she's going to give us some ideas on how to create a budget and how to maybe avoid that credit card debt or get out of it.
So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today, we have a special guest in the house via Zoom, and we are excited to have Corina Kempe here, who works at a bank, who helps teach people how to be financially responsible.
And so, Corina, why don't you just tell us, what do you know? What do you want people to know about finances and reaching their goals?
The most important thing is for people to sit back and self-evaluate, become more self-aware, and create that financial reality. Everyone's financial future is different. It is not cookie cutter. And so when I sit with my clients, I'm very interested in listening to what they care about most because everybody values something differently. And so my job is to be there to be supportive to them and help them feel successful in what they want to accomplish, not what I feel that I think is important to them. It's what they feel is important to them is what's important to me. So when I take a look at their financial picture, I'm asking, where their income's coming from, what expenses they currently have, what their disposable income is. And those are the kinds of things that I'm looking at. Somebody who's just really basically starting off and just says, okay, I don't even know where to start. I haven't started planning for retirement. How do I do this? Well, then I take a look at their income, their expenses, or disposable income. And I say, okay, how much of this can we actually set aside to start planning for retirement? Whether it's $50 a month or $100 a month or $2,000 a month, whatever that may be, it's got to be what is sustainable for them. So that's what's most important to me to start off with. And if they just start with a little bit each month, that will accumulate. And obviously, the younger they start, the more compounded income, interest income, and that they're going to receive to help them accumulate the more, financial assets that they need to have at the point of retirement. However, sometimes I run into folks that are 40, 45 and have not started and did not know what to do. And that's okay because you can always start. It's never too late to start. And so what I typically suggest is, okay, let's work out your budget. And a budget worksheet is so important. And if you write it down, that's the first step to accountability when you hold yourself accountable. And what I typically do is I have a budget worksheet that I give to my clients and I say, okay, take this home. Use your best guess initially. Don't look anything up. Just write down what you think that your income is, what you think your expenses are, what you spend here and what you spend there. Okay. So then I say, now it's financial reality. Let's look at this again. And let's pull out that net pay, that check stub. Let's pull out those bills and let's refill that Excel spreadsheet or paper, written down piece of paper. And let's write down what your actual income is, what your actual expenses are. And let's see how close you are. Some people will be surprised and shocked. They think that they spend less here and more there and vice versa. So what we suggest, or what I suggest, is that folks do this at least 2, 3, 4 times in a row so that they can then make modifications and analyze, okay, again, what do I value most? Do I really need to be going out to dinner 3 times a week with my husband or, my spouse? Or can we take that back and maybe do it one night a week because we're trying to reach this particular goal? So it's just kind of realigning, what your values are, but not sacrificing your values at the same time.
What I hear you saying also, Corina, is about, the discipline it takes, the sacrifice that you got to do to really be honest with what you're doing versus what you want to do. Right. Because what you want to do and what you're doing have to line up.
Exactly. And once you find that alignment, that's key to your success. And then you start to feel better about yourself and about your financial future. You don't feel as scared or as frightened, because I do run into a lot of people that are worried. And this way, if we have some environmental external factors that come into play, we're okay because we've planned for that. So there's 3 things that I really always suggest clients look for is, your emergency fund, primarily. The next thing to think about is asset accumulation. That's your retirement account. And then wealth transfer. So wealth transfer will come at the very end. As soon as you start, doing distributions, when you're in the distribution phase and you start transferring assets over to your children. So, but in the very beginning, it's establishing that emergency fund, starting with that budget, and then planning it out and forecasting what you expect your expenses to be throughout the entire year. Start small, do 1 year at a time, and then start to add on each year. And then if you can lay out the next 5 years, some people will think that's crazy, but that's how you retire.
Awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to hear more from Corina Kempe. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Finding your purpose should not be rocket science. Why is it in life when we get excited about something, when something comes our way and we know that this is our purpose, we know this is the reason why we were put here on earth, we allow life and the circumstances thereof to snatch our joy, to steal our dreams? Why is it that we allow those things to just suffocate our growth?
Because we make it so complicated. You need a program that shows you the process, that lays it out in front of you so that you know exactly when you're on track to unleash your fullest potential.
Because the word is, if you're faithful in the little things, you will be faithful in the big things.
In this program, we're going to teach you the process to actually reach your dreams. Some of you don't even know what your dreams are, so we're going to help you unlock that and unleash that. And then we're going to give you the process to step through all of the challenges, overcome every single obstacle in order to reach and achieve those dreams.
Part of the process of you becoming a new person for you is understanding what it means to be a TYRO, right? You're going to start reciting a pledge that is going to become your new mantra for your life, called the TYRO Pledge. And I promise you, this would change the way you think about you.
We're going to teach you the difference between a value statement and an observation. We're going to give you the formula on how to be successful investing your time and energy. We're going to walk you through the process of developing a mission statement.
This is not going to be easy. This is not a cakewalk. But if you're ready to live up to your greatest potential, to take on every challenge that's in front of you and conquer them, then you're ready to be a TYRO.
You must know you are not on this path alone. As you go through this course, you're going to be going through this course with people all across the world. There are TYROs worldwide that are waiting to welcome you into this community, to become a person worth following and join the network that is transforming their lives and their communities.
The greatest honor of completing TYRO is to earn the TYRO pen. Many people from across the world, from all walks of life, have earned the TYRO pen by completing the 12 workshops that are in this program. But just because you signed up, and maybe you showed up for one or two of them, doesn't give you the right to earn the TYRO pin. You must complete this entire program to be pinned a TYRO.
This pinning is an outward symbol of something that's happened on the inside. Because throughout the TYRO process, you are going to be awakened to your purpose and your dreams. Your heartbeat begins to resurrect and beat again for the passion of being a leader in your home, your community, and your workplace.
If your dreams don't scare you, then you are not dreaming big enough. Sign up for this program if you're ready to be pushed to your greatest potential. Sign up for this program if you're ready to live the next level of life. You have what it takes. Everything that you need is right inside you. We're here to help you pull it out, your greatest potential. Quit running from yourself. Become the man or the woman that you were called to be here today, right now.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we have special guest with us, Corina Kempe, who is a financial advisor and really helping us understand what does it mean to set up for your future.
And I will tell you, this is one brilliant lady. So listen to what she has to say and write it down, take notes, whatever you got to do. Because if you follow her advice, if you follow the structure, these basic plans, then you're going to be on your way to reaching your goals. So Corina, before the break, you were sharing, get a budget and start writing down the things that you want in, a week, a month, a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And so why is that important? And what other things can we do to actually position ourselves to be successful and not so stressed about money all the time?
That's a great question, Kathy. And what I typically tell my clients is to plan for what their specific retirement is going to look like. Now, some people want to travel. Some people want to spend 100% of their time with grandkids. And so, and that's okay. Whatever that individual values most and sees what they want to, what the retirement should look like. So what I always tell clients to look at is, okay, in the future, where's that income going to be coming from? And we can dig a little bit deeper into exactly which areas to pull money from first, which would be more tax efficient, which isn't tax efficient, what debt to pay off first, why does it make sense to pay this debt off first? And so, but once you get into that retirement phase, and you start collecting Social Security, you go in, you start to apply for Social Security, you can, at our current age for us, it would be 62. Our full retirement age is 65 or 67. Most people will retire and pull Social Security at the age of 65 because that's when we qualify for Medicare. What a lot of people forget and what they leave out is their health insurance. So a lot of people want to retire early, say at the age of 55, which we would all love to do that, right? But we don't actually qualify for medical insurance until the age of 65, unless our spouse is still working and can provide that healthcare coverage. So that's where, I sit down with my clients and I talk about, okay, if you're going to retire at the age of 65, we know then you're going to qualify for Medicare. We know then, you can start pulling your Social Security if you want. But what a lot of people don't know is that if you wait till full retirement age, then you get 100% of your benefit. Then what a lot of people don't know is that if you leave it sit there and start depending upon your retirement income and leave your Social Security sit there till, say, the age of 70, it does earn interest while it's still sitting there. So that's also hugely important. So you could be pulling from Roth IRAs, you can be pulling from traditional IRAs and to support your expenses, but then at the time you turn the age of 70, you can actually turn on Social Security. So not that I'm suggesting that everybody's situation is unique. Some people need it at the age of 62. And that's okay. Just what I like to do when I'm meeting with clients is say, these are your options. And that's what I think a lot of people want to hear. They don't want to have somebody tell them what they think they should do. They want somebody to say, what are my options?
Mhm.
Educate me and tell me what my options are. And so that's what I feel is most important, because as we become older, we've got to pass on what we've accumulated and what we've worked so hard for to pass on to the next generation. And that's the transfer of wealth. And so that's why we reach out to the attorneys and those tax professionals to tell us and educate us, okay, what makes the most sense and how can I pass on everything that I've accumulated that I've worked so hard for? How can I pass this on to my children that they're not going to have to pay so much in taxes as well? So that's where I think, that's where the attorneys and your CPAs come in to the picture. And that's where you want to sit down with someone who's going to lay out options for you. You sit down and meet with somebody who then tries to tell you what he thinks or she thinks that you should do. Then, you might want to take a step back and then get a second opinion.
Well, yeah, I appreciate hearing that because, a lot of people put their life earnings and they put them in somebody else's hands. You do, and then if they lose it all, right? And the person that lost it all, they're not held liable. But when you put it back on the individual, look, here are your options. And I appreciate that word options because there are many options depending on where track you want to go on. Then you really empowering the individual to look at the whole spectrum of it. You can do this and do that, do this and do that. But what's the best thing for you?
Right. And educating them is so important. And some people don't understand everything that you're going to explain, but we have to take it to a point where we have to use language that's understandable. So we don't want to use rate of return or asset accumulation or diversification. We can explain that and take that even further and elaborate even more so that it makes sense. Diversification, looking at one's risk tolerance, because then I tell my clients, if you can't sleep at night, then I can't sleep at night. It's not about me. Right? Because yes, they're going to be calling me and saying, hey, so you're exactly right. That's why we give them the option. I give them the option to choose. And by educating them, because you can't make a decision without understanding those options as well first.
So I have a question. Why would it be important, or how do we help someone understand, say that they're just being released from prison, and so they're thinking about getting a job and they're looking at their budget. Why should they even be thinking about retirement when they're just starting? Like, does that even make sense?
And that's why it's so important. They should be looking at retirement. You hear people say, I can't afford to invest for my retirement. The response to that is you can't afford not to invest for your retirement. The average individual American, has, if they had a $400 expense for the month. The average American can't afford to pay that write a check for it
Wow.
today.
That's today.
Wow.
Today. That's not even including somebody who is just coming out of being incarcerated. And the way I look at it as it's similar to starting off, you're just graduating from high school. You're starting off in the beginning, and that's where I think, that's where the education on different types of retirement accounts are important. But the importance of starting off, because you can change your life, you can better your life, no matter where you start off with, even if you're, incarcerated and you're just coming out, there's no reason why you cannot start planning for your future. And I think that will also help you stay focused as well, and moving forward and not looking backwards.
Well, this has been amazing.
Yeah.
But listen, we got to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to continue this in-depth conversation about obtaining wealth, knowledge, right? Because this is priceless knowledge, right? And living for your future. So we'll be right back.
I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And together we have been working with tens of thousands of couples for the last 2 decades.
And we have been helping couples understand that nobody's right and nobody's wrong. They're just each seeing it from their own perspective and unable to bridge together.
So when's the last time you were in a discussion with your significant other or your spouse and you had a disagreement over something so small that turned into something so big?
So many of the couples we work with have this experience where they argue about something because they only see it from their own perspective.
So I'm looking at it from my vantage point, and guess what? Frankly, I'm only want to see it my way, because it's my way or the what? The highway.
Over time, what happens is these issues start to pile up and they create more and more distance between couples. And so now we're arguing about every small thing because we have to defend our perspective.
As we began arguing, it really was apparent whose side I was on. I wasn't on her side and she wasn't on my side. In fact, we were on opposite teams.
We became enemies, and what was more important for us was to be right than for us to actually understand each other. When couples do this, they continue to erode their relationship. What you need to do is get the issues out from between you, move them out in front of you, and remember that you're a team able to navigate through anything together by seeing all sides of the issue.
Now remember, there is nothing more important than us.
In this dynamic program that's internationally recognized, you're going to learn how to resolve conflict, how to get on the same page and listen for understanding. Couple communication, which was written by Dr. Sherrod Miller and Dr. Phyllis Miller, will actually help you be on the same team and recognize the power of resolving conflict together.
One of the greatest tools that you're going to embrace is really coming to the understanding that what you've been doing is natural, but this is learned behavior, and we're about ready to take you to a next level on how to enhance your relationship.
Now, if you're sick and tired of having all of these petty issues come between you, if you are exhausted from every time that you have interaction with your spouse, it turns into drama, then this is where you want to be. You want to sign up for couple communication. You want to take this program together, and I guarantee you that you are going to love it.
Stop telling yourself that tomorrow you're going to do better. Stop saying to yourself, tomorrow I'll find that program. Today's your opportunity to do something not only for yourself, but for all those around you.
In couple communication, you're going to learn a brand new process. This process is going to help you avoid ever fighting over petty stuff again. It's going to take you to a new level in your relationship as you learn how to listen for understanding, to clearly articulate and share from your own experience. You're going to get on the mats. You're going to have notepads. You're going to learn skills that you're going to be like, wow, if only I had known this at the beginning.
It's not too late. We are all on this journey. We are all on this continuous improvement plan. But guess what? You have to take the first step and let today be that first step for you and your significant other.
If you're ready to like each other again and be on the same team, this is the program for you. Sign up today.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we have had a great conversation with my sister, Corina Kempe, who is telling us all about the financial world and what not to do and what to do.
So as we go into this last segment before we close, I'd really like to hear more from Corina about why is it important? But then lead us into how would somebody that knows nothing about money, has never budgeted money, has never thought about money or their power over it, how do we even get started?
So let me give you a little bit of this. Let's say you just coming out of prison, right? Female, male, doesn't matter. Maybe, and you've been living on $18 a month, because that's what usually here in the state of Ohio, they give each person $18 a month, and they got to live on that and budget that, right? So that's pretty difficult and it's challenging. So how do you help empower somebody who's just coming out, never experiencing a
real job,
a real job
paycheck?
Yeah.
So I guess I commend somebody who can budget $18 a month. Yeah. Start with that, because I think that is a skill in itself. And, I congratulate anybody who can budget $18 a month and make that spread out through 30 days, because that's phenomenal. We today, we can spend $18 in 5 minutes easily on, going through fast food and whatnot, and not think twice about it. So I think that's phenomenal. That's a huge accomplishment. And I think that would be step number one. If you can be successful at balancing and budgeting $18 a month, all you need to do is keep that same concept when you leave. And now it's hard, I think, mentally to think, okay, now I've got a paycheck of $400 and, and I just worked 1 week, and that's working 40 hours, $10 an hour. You've got a paycheck before taxes, obviously, say $400. That mindset of saying, okay, now I want to go and I want to spend it and get excited. Remember, step number one would be remember how you did your $18 and take that same accountability and saying, okay, now I've been blessed with this. How am I going to, manage it and budget it to make sure that I don't overspend? So the first thing that they need to do is start writing down that budget. Look at all the expenses that they have. Some people get paid twice a month. Some people get paid once every week. When you align your expenses based on your pay and what you have left over is what you need to do. So the first step is to write it down and find out, determine what you have left. If you write that down and know what you have left, you won't overspend the first week you get paid or the second week you get paid, because you know the bills that need to be paid first. And you know exactly, if I have $200 left for the month, I have $200 left for the month. So the budget would be the first thing that they need to start with. Once they accumulate a budget, creating that emergency fund would be the first priority. Even if you can set aside just $10 a week, whatever you can do to create that emergency fund for that, we're going to have those emergency situations. Our car's going to break down, but we still got to go to work. So what I always teach people is, if you have that emergency fund, it's going to deter you from going out and putting it on a credit card. So some people may come out with or start accumulating credit card debt. If you start accumulating credit card debt and you're not putting money aside for that emergency fund, right? Let's think about it. And you don't have an emergency fund. Your car breaks down. You're going to add it onto your credit card. If you create this emergency fund, you're going to have this. So you still want to pay your debt. You want to pay your expenses, but you still want to create that emergency fund so that if that car breaks down, you can pull your $300 from here instead of adding $300 over there. So the other thing to think about is interest. And one of the things that I really want to press, it is so important that people have a hard time thinking about is, okay, I have a car payment, interest on this car payment when they get out. And then I have a rate of return that are, interest that I can earn off of this investment. If you can earn a higher rate of return off of something higher than what your interest rate on your expenses are, always choose earning that higher interest rate, because then you're in the positive. If you flip it over, then you're in the negative. So some clients will ask me, well, what should I do? Should I take this money and pay off my debt, or should I invest it? Well, if you can invest it and make a higher rate of return, than what this interest rate over here is, then you should invest it. So that's something to think about. And you know, as you're starting off with your budget and you're just getting out and you're creating that emergency fund, some people may get credit card debt, and that's okay. That's what we're here to do and here to help you plan that and pay off that budget. Once you know you have that emergency fund set aside, the other thing that is so important, and I can't emphasize this enough, is to pay yourself first. So when you get that $400 paycheck that we were discussing earlier, take that, and you earned it. Pay yourself. So take $50 or $100 out of that $400, and you're putting that in your emergency fund, putting some in your emergency fund, then put some of that in your retirement. Your retirement is paying yourself. You earned it. So whatever percentage that you can set aside in your retirement, whatever you can start off with, I tell my clients $25, $50 a month, just get that started.
Wow, that's great advice. That is awesome. We're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to hear some wrap up final tips from Corina Kempe. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. Today we have Corina Kempe, who happens to be my sister, in the house, talking about financial discipline, financial sacrifices that each and every one of us need to make. And in this particular case, those who are coming out of prison. And
especially financial reality. I mean, that really hit home with me. It's like, you know, I know when you first came home from prison, Ron, and we were just like, oh yeah, we'll do this, we'll buy
Walmart.
This. Yeah. And then we look at the end of the month, we're like, oh my goodness, reality, boom, right into the face. And so I really appreciated that. But so Corina, as we wind down the show, if there was one thing that you could leave with our listeners today, what would that one piece of advice be?
Financial freedom. Financial freedom is so important because that's the next step after financial reality. Financial reality, you know, like you said, just kind of hits you in the face. But the goal is to be financially free. And everybody's financial freedom is different. I love people to understand the time value of money. That is one of the most important steps to make sure that the sooner you start, the earlier you start, the closer you will be to financial freedom. So financial reality is the first step, but everyone's financial freedom is going to look different. And that could be being able to spend time with your grandkids. That could be traveling, but to be stress-free. Financial freedom is key. And like I said, everyone's picture, everyone, like I said earlier, has a different value. They're what they value most. And I think that's what I strive most for my clients, is to figure out what that they value most and to give them financial freedom.
Wow,
so financial freedom is literally means freedom. You're stress free. You're not worried about what's coming in. You're not worried about the cash flow that you need to pay the bills and all these types of things, because it's all been taken care of because you have prepared everything for that day.
Right. And Ron, let's look at it as you as well too. The moment that you walked out, you were free. That same feeling that you had, you planned and you prepared for that day of freedom. That's the same feeling that we strive for financially as we become older, that we have the same financial freedom.
Oh, what a great analogy. Thank you, Corina. So for those of you that are listening, and if you say, gosh, you know what, I don't even know where to begin with the budget. I don't even know what a budget worksheet looks like. Reach out to us, contact us. And if you're returning home, we will connect you to Corina and the place where she works so you can start on your financial freedom journey.
So listen, thank you so very much, everyone, for allowing us to be part of your journey. Thank you for Corina for taking time out of your busy day to be part of this. And always remember, until next time, that we are rooting for you.